I remember there used to be a time when we all came back from school so excited to play our favorite game. Our social media feeds were filled with funny streamer clips and everyone seemed to be having a great time. And so we jumped in the Discord call, waiting for our buddies, so we can all hop on together to click some heads, experience the new event or update, or just new release we've been anticipating for months. And for my older folks, it was so dope going over to the cool kid's house, whose family could afford a console, so we can play split screen for a few hours. Ah, good times. Just makes me question, what happened to FPS gaming? Why does everything feel the same now? Did something change, or did we just get older? Now, there is a reason I left emphasis on this word. Were older FPS games really that much better than what we have now? I feel like this is the first question that we need to tackle, as it will really get us the first piece of our puzzle. Remember those for later, by the way. But now, let's go on a quick history lesson. FPS games on both consoles and PC have been a thing for a very long time, and it's crazy to see the growth and innovation around making them what they are today. While the first quote-unquote FPS experiments were done in the 70s and 80s, FPS really became a genre in the 1990s, with Wolfenstein 3D and the original Doom, which are often regarded as the grandfathers of FPS. This is where it all started, and from then on every new title just kept adding features on top of the already established foundation. For example, Quake was the first fully 3D FPS. GoldenEye brought stuff like stealth mechanics, and Half-Life was the first story-driven shooter game. The 2000s were a wild time for FPS, introducing online and competitive play, with titles like Halo and Call of Duty. Counter-Strike brought us the first defined skill-based gameplay, and for me at least, is the game that brought esports to FPS. We weren't done with adding big features either though, as for example, Battlefield gave us more expansive larger scale maps, and also combat with vehicles. Anyway, from there on graphics kept getting better, and the games more impressive. In 2007, the Xbox 360 came out, which is definitely one of the most beloved and influential consoles ever. A lot of people would regard this as the best era of gaming, but what's important for us now is that it gave us things like voice chat, without which the COD lobbies just wouldn't have felt the same.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
Yum 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 yum. Keep sucking that dick.
The 2010s can be regarded as the era of multiplayer and esports, with stuff like CSGO, which popularized FPS esports like nothing else. In 2014, Destiny created the looter shooter genre, mixing FPS with MMO elements. Titanfall also came out that same year, and absolutely revolutionized movement in FPS games. And in 2016, Overwatch set the stage for hero shooters. Then after that, in 2017, PUBG is what really established the Battle Royale genre, and was followed by many instant hits. Now, let's stop right here for a bit. There is one thing I am noticing throughout everything I just explained, and that's innovation. Every new release brought us something new to the table. New mechanics were being introduced to the genre, that later became a staple. Now, whether that be actual 3D aiming instead of just side to side, or a new way to monetize games in order to make them free, every year we were seeing new stuff never done before, and with that came a lot of interest, because every new game felt unique and fresh. And I don't know if everything has been done already, or developers are just being lazy, but most of what we are seeing nowadays is copy-pastes of already existing stuff. I swear to God, nowadays literally every game is trying to be either a tactical 5v5 or a hero shooter. Like that's all that's been releasing for the past 3 to 4 years, and we are tired of that. So much to the point that this is our first piece of the puzzle. Also, can anyone tell me why exactly do we need a new $60 Call of Duty every year, when it's exactly the same game as the previous one? Cause with this, now we're getting into my second point. Corporate greed. There's many aspects to that, but for starters, in the old days, games were made as a small project between a team of a few tens of people, all passionate about bringing their dreams and visions to life. Nowadays, those same companies have grown so much that they are huge publicly traded mega corporations, with thousands of employees and billions of dollars in shares. Either that, or they've been bought by a company like that. Or they've been unfortunate enough to be suppressed by the big corporations into shutting down. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, competition brings innovation, and what we are having right now is ultimately destroying competition and is forcing monopolism. And that's why the stukification of the gaming market is so bad. All strings are being pulled by billionaire CEOs and shareholders, and those ignorant people care about nothing but short-term profits. They aren't passionate about gaming like us. And this sucks so much, because as much as I hate Call of Duty for example, I'm sure there are passionate devs over at Activision that would want to bring back the respect COD had in the old days. They really do, but they are being suppressed by greedy higher-ups who force them to instead put all their effort into more overpriced skins and essentially scamming their players by selling AI slop garbage. And I swear to God, this is only happening with FPS games. There is actual innovation, and indie games are thriving in other genres. And what I really think made this problem a lot worse is the introduction of battle passes, and in general live service games becoming the norm. Said battle passes and constantly updating in-game stores make games more accessible by allowing them to be free and long-term profitable, which allows companies to keep a steady and increasing stream of money without really releasing new games. And in my opinion, there is nothing wrong with that, until those said companies start leeching off of you with constant overpriced slop. And if you're consistently buying this slop, you are a part of the third big issue, which is the players. A few specific groups of players. The first group is, as mentioned before, the whales, which have a severe spending problem and buy everything in the game, essentially financing those big corporations to keep doing what they are doing. And if that's you, you're just lame as fuck. But anyway, let's look at another group of players that directly impacts you, especially if you're trying to have fun in the game. And that's the so-called sweats. Those stinky toxic nerds that are slouched over 10 centimeters away from their monitor and have a whole ass pool of sweat inside their belly button while playing. They have never felt grass and the touch of a woman and... Oh wait, I'm just describing myself. Well, at least my life isn't just playing my one game. I have a job and other hobbies as well. But yeah, nowadays everybody has a good setup and a gaming chair. And with stuff like esports being so mainstream, everyone wants to become a pro player and to be rich and famous. And there is nothing wrong with that, other than ruining the fun for truly casual players, who just wanna relax and have a good time after a long day of work. What I'm trying to say is, little Timmy, this is quick play. Go sweat in ranked and maybe you'll get out of silver. And while we are on that note, mark my words here. If any shooter is even remotely competitive, it's gonna have a toxic community. That's just how it is. Anyway, there is one last group that's so despicably bad and ruining everyone's experience so much to the point of it being its own major problem. And that's cheaters. Self-explanatory here, but cheating is at its all-time high in games right now. It's a full-on epidemic, and unfortunately, it's become a huge industry. People are making life-changing amounts of money by selling cheats. Probably way more than the people working on anti-cheats in gaming companies, which just speaks volumes about how much those greedy CEOs care about it. And what's worse is that FPS games are the primary target. Now bear with me for a bit, but I got friends who play a lot of League of Legends, and they complain about anti-cheat. It's maybe because I haven't played any MOBAs in my life, but how the fuck do you cheat in League? Like, please explain to me in the comments, because when it comes to an FPS I can imagine an aimbot or wallhack, but how the fuck exactly do you cheat in League? Scripts or something? I don't know. Anyway, as a quick summary of everything till now, I hate what the gaming market has turned into. Every game is now the same generic free-to-play live service with predatory marketing practices. And this turns out to be so profitable that why do anything else, when that's what the investors are forcing on you. Literally the most viable method to make a profitable game nowadays is make a free hero shooter, so you can sell skins for each character and of course a generic battle pass. It's all already figured out for you and minimal effort is required. It may sound like I'm hating on Marvel Rivals right now, but I'm really not. The fact of the matter is, I'm just not interested in hero shooters whatsoever anymore. Besides, I wasn't even talking about Marvel Rivals. I specifically mentioned minimal effort. So I was actually talking about Concord. Oh wait. Well, I guess you gotta make a decent game to survive after all. Then how the fuck does Call of Duty still exist? Anyway, throughout all of the greed and boringness of the FPS gaming scene right now, I wanted to show you a little gem that's kept me going. You may have heard of this game when it launched, but then forgotten about it after all the big companies tried to overshadow it, and every hater kept repeating how it's dead. Well, guess what? A year later it's still here and with a stable player count and very dedicated player base. Unlike your ex-Defiant, or whatever other overdone slop also blew up for 2 weeks and then flopped. Of course, this gem I'm talking about is the Finals. A way smaller game than your Call of Duty, but also made by a smaller team of actually passionate devs with a lot of love and care about it. The game still feels like a breath of fresh air, and it's truly unique in every single aspect. From game modes to technology to probably the best and smoothest gunplay you've ever tried. It recently entered its 6th season, with additions like permanent team deathmatch mode and 3 insane new weapons, so if you're a casual looking to have some fun, now is your time. Of course, the Finals isn't for everyone, and many people did try it out on launch and decide it's not for them. And that's totally valid, and happens with every game. And by the way, if you're worried that the Finals has a lower active player count than your Call of Duty, I made a whole video about how it doesn't even matter. The player count may be lower, but it's been very much stable for months. The game is here to stay, and the devs recently said in an AMA that they have planned huge things all the way till 2027. On the topic of that, they are hosting a huge tournament later this year, so if you like esports you should definitely pay attention. But yeah, definitely try out the Finals if you haven't already, and write me a comment about what you think about everything I discussed. I'd love to read about it, and I respond to almost every single comment, so please do it. Anyway boys, thank you for watching till here. I hope it means you enjoy my content, so if you wanna see more sooner, be sure to subscribe. The style of this video has really been a huge experiment, so I would really appreciate your feedback. Speaking of experiments, I recently started a second channel, where I'ma be posting less edited content more often. It's gonna be mostly content from my streams and everything that's not fit for the main channel, so if you wanna see more of me, definitely check it out. Also, I wanna take a second to apologize for my 2-month hiatus on this channel. All I'm gonna say is, fuck adult life and fuck depression. Your positive comments are one thing that has really helped me a lot though. So I want to thank you again. You're really awesome, and I got more huge stuff planned for y'all. Thank you for watching till the very end, and I'll see you next time. Peace.